guys, what's up? It's me, Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl. I'm back with another video already. All right, thank you everybody who watched my first video of 2022, where I talked about the fact that it was 100 days to my check-in day for DCP, the Disney College Program. I am so excited, you guys. Update, I have finished packing all the pants, shorts, and skirts. I am going to wear, I might throw in a couple skirts just so that I have options. But my goal is not to take a lot of clothing down with me. I'm still waiting on one more shirt, and then all my tops will be done. So I am almost done with my main part of the packing. But I am slowly but surely packing. My birthday is next month, and I'm planning on taking the day of my birthday and just going on a massive DCP shopping spree where I'm just going to buy a ton of stuff for Disney College Program, because that is how I'm so excited I am to do this. But today I'm not going to be talking about Disney College Program. Yay for those who are probably going to be really tired of me talking about the fact that I'm going to go do this crazy thing. Today I'm here with a trailer reaction, the first trailer reaction of 2022, and it is for the Oscar Isaac-led Marvel series Moon Knight. They released the trailer for Moon Knight yesterday, January 17th. And like I said, it's being led by Oscar Isaac, which just makes me so excited. I loved him in Star Wars. I actually have another movie. I have the Nativity Story, in which he played Joseph. Like, he was my favorite actor out of the entire movie. So I'm super, super, super excited for this. And they did announce the release date. So as you can see here, hopefully, they did provide a little description. The description says, "Welcome to Chaos. Watch the new trailer for Marvel Studios' Moon Knight and start streaming the original series on March 30th on Disney+." So we did get a release date. This is launching on March 30th, which is actually, going back to DCP, kind of funny because I will get to see the first 4 episodes. This will be a 6-episode series. So the first 4 are actually going to air before I leave. And then the final 2 are going to air while I'm down in Florida, which on top just makes it really hysterical because I'm thinking about all the Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff I'm probably going to be in Florida for. I will be in Florida during Star Wars Celebration. I will be in Florida for Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, part of Moon Knight, probably Miss Marvel, maybe Loki Season 2, Kenobi, Andor. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be in Florida for, so it will be interesting trying to film some of this stuff. But Moon Knight, now I know I personally had never heard of this Marvel character before they announced the series, which didn't lessen my excitement for it. Honestly, if it's from Marvel, I'm going to be excited for it at first because it's Marvel and I genuinely love the MCU and I'm getting into the comics, so I'm really, really excited. But Moon Knight was not a character I was familiar with, and I was watching the Blind Wave reaction and they made the comment to Eternals, and they made a comment about how these newer characters that are getting stuff released about them, people might not know them or even recognize them. They point out that some people who liked Marvel Comics didn't even know who the Eternals were. So it's kind of interesting to see that I think maybe Moon Knight got the reaction it did because it's Oscar Isaac. So, me being me, I did go and I Googled Moon Knight because I had never heard of him. So I looked up the comics. So Moon Knight was created by writer Doug Moench and artist Don Perlin, and first appeared in 1975 in issue number 32 of Werewolf by Night. And basically, a quick little backstory of him from the comics is the son of a rabbi. Mark Spector is a former Marine and CIA operative who becomes a mercenary despite his conflicted feelings about violence and morality. During a job in the Sudan, he is appalled by ruthless fellow mercenary Raoul Bushman. Bushman then attacks and kills archaeologist Dr. Aleron. Spector saves the archaeologist's daughter and colleague Marlene, and then fights and is defeated by Bushman. The dying Spector is brought into a recently unearthed tomb for shelter and placed before a statue of the Egyptian moon god Khonshu. I will not be able to pronounce half these names, just a fair warning. Spector seems to die, but then suddenly revives, fully healed. He claims Khonshu wants him to be the moon's knight, redeeming his life of violence by now protecting and avenging the innocent. It is later revealed Khonshu is real, one of several entities from the other void, a dimension outside normal time and space, who are worshipped as gods by ancient Earth people. On his return in the United States, Spectre invests his mercenary profits into becoming the crime fighter Moon Knight, aided by his colleague Jean-Paul Frenchy Duchamp and Marlene, who becomes his lover and eventual mother of his daughter. So, he also uses, according to this, he also, along with his costume alter ego, he uses 3 other identities to gain permission from different social circles. Billionaire businessman Stephen Grant, taxi cab driver Jake Lockley, and student consultant Mr. Knight. Is later revealed Mark Spector has dissociative identity disorder, and that his alters, known as Grant Lockley, originally manifested during childhood, with other identities coming into adult. So basically, spoiler alert, probably a lot of that. I'm not sure how much of what's his story in the comic is going to come through in the show. But basically, he is a person who has dissociative identity disorder, who apparently dies, but then an Egyptian god and a bunch of other entities bring him back to life for the purpose of helping the innocent. I kind of like it. Now I really kind of want to find that little brief description of his backstory on Wikipedia kind of makes me want to go find the Moon Knight comics and read them. And then they have the blurb for Moon Knight, which is Mark Spector, a mercenary who suffers from dissociative identity disorder, is drawn into a deadly mystery involving Egyptian gods with his multiple identities, such as Stephen Grant. So pretty much it sounds like it's the same, maybe different. I know the one on the comic book said he had a wife and daughter, but I'm not sure if this will come into play with this because it isn't only a 6-episode series. So far, the cast and characters are Oscar Isaac as Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, a mercenary with dissociative identity disorder, or DID, who becomes the conduit for the Egyptian god Khonshu. Each of Spector's identities from his DID are distinct characters, including Stephen Grant, a mild-mannered gift shop employee suffering from blackouts and memories of another life. Executive producer Kevin Feige describes Spector as an action hero who jumps out of buildings and gets into fights. So it sounds like the character of Mark Spector for the show is going to be different from the comics, which is to be expected. I think Stephen Grant is, when I was looking at the comic, yeah, in the comics, Stephen Grant is a billionaire businessman, and in the show, they say Stephen Grant is a gift shop employee. So obviously there's going to be difference, but they do still have him with DID, which I think is going to be interesting to see how it's portrayed, and I hope they're very careful with how they portray it. But he is going to be a mercenary with DID. One of his alters is going to be Stephen Grant, but Stephen Grant is going to be a gift shop employee, not a billionaire, so that's a change. Ethan Hawke is going to be playing a character called Arthur Harrow, a cult leader who encourages Spector to embrace his inner darkness. Hawke says Harrow is inspired by cult leader David Koresh. So I didn't read too much into the comics description, but I don't remember Arthur Harrow being listed. In fact, he isn't even highlighted on the thing, so I think he's a character they made purely for the series, which if they did that, good on them. They did create Katie for Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. She did not appear in the comics. She was purely created for the MCU. Sylvie is kind of, I think they described her as kind of a combination of different characters from the comics for Loki. So good on them because they've done pretty good so far from what I've seen in creating characters solely for the MCU. Other actors listed are Jespard Yuli portrays Anton Morgott or Midnight Man, while May Calamawy has been cast in an undisclosed role. The Egyptian moon god Khonshu also appears. Okay, so Midnight Man I'm kind of interested in really quickly. And they don't have anything about him. So this is definitely going to be, I think, a learning curve for a lot of us, particularly if we didn't, even if I think if you read Marvel Comics, I think this is going to be interesting. When I was looking, I did notice that Moon Knight has done a lot more comic appearances than the Eternals. So that is kind of interesting. Maybe that's why he's a little bit more popular than the Eternals, is maybe more people recognize him, but I'm not sure how many. So let me move myself down over to the corner so that we can go ahead and watch the trailer for Moon Knight. Let's full screen this up. Come on. There we go. Full screen up. Here we go. It is time to watch and react to the trailer for Moon Knight with the always cool Oscar Isaac. So let's see how this goes. Rubik's Cube.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
Oh, he tethered himself to the bed. Ouch.
I'm losing it.
We'll catch you on. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen. I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be dark. Whoa, his shadow wasn't moving.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark? It must be very difficult. Voice in your head. There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.
Alright, that was cool. Alright, let's go back to the title screen. That's not what I wanted. No, I don't want the captions. That's what I wanted. Okay, so that looks violent. Let me bring myself back up. There we go. So I'm not just looking on the corner. That looks really dark. It looks like it's going to be violent. But holy heck, that looks amazing. I was just excited for it because it's Oscar Isaac, and also, like I said, it's Marvel. I'm going to get excited about anything Marvel at this point. But this actually looks really, really good, and I have to say it's got kind of a tough act to follow, coming on the heels of Loki. You know, that's kind of be like, Loki was huge. Loki was amazing. It was such a good show. And this is the show that they're following it up with. You know, with Miss Marvel, I'm like, Miss Marvel's going to be awesome. You know, I expect Miss Marvel not to do as well as Loki, because Miss Marvel is more like, maybe a little bit more lighthearted. She's more like Spider-Man than Loki. But Moon Knight, it kind of has that same like wow factor I feel like Loki had. It's definitely going to be, I actually think, comparing it to the shows WandaVision, and I'm comparing it to the live action shows. I'm not going to compare this to What If, because What If's in like, I fully should be like in its own separate thing. Because as of right now, and when I did the Doctor Strange, I said I don't know how much What If is going to play into this going forward. So I kind of want to set What If aside for a minute and just focus on the live action offerings. And comparing this to WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Loki, and Hawkeye. I mean, Hawkeye was the last show to come out. So comparing it to those shows, Moon Knight, it looks like it's going to be darker. It looks like it's going to be more violent than the other 4 shows that have been released. And WandaVision was not dark. It was kind of like more... none of the shows have been dark so far per se. They've gone into some dark gray, like gray darkish areas. And they've dealt with some issues, like WandaVision was dealing with a lot with like grief. Falcon and Winter Soldier, you had like you had a little bit of like racism in there and like social ideas and changing world and stuff like that. And Loki was, again, I feel like dealing with a little bit of grief and then the expectations for me, because Loki always has this expectation that he has to be the villain, and he doesn't have to be. Like he said, his whole persona is the cruelest joke of all to him, because it's like everybody, and the Loki novel I have, the end of the novel, spoiler alert, Loki says, well, if they expect me to be the villain, then fine, I'm going to be the villain. And I think the Loki series really showed that, and Thor Ragnarok showed it to a certain extent, that Loki doesn't want to be the villain in my mind. He just is the villain because that's how everybody portrays him to be. Even Mobius, when they first meet, basically is telling Loki, this is how you're supposed to be. And Loki's like, no, it doesn't. But since everybody expects him to be that way, that's what he has to be. So I think Loki was really good at dealing that with perceptions of self, like how other people view us when we want to view ourselves. Hawkeye was very much kind of dealing, again, with grief. I feel like Loki, WandaVision, and Hawkeye definitely had those three things of dealing with grief. Falcon and Winter Soldier, not so much, because they weren't really clear on what happened to Steve. I don't know if Steve is dead or still alive. That hasn't been made clear. Just that he's no longer in the picture. But really, they were dealing with grief. But now we have Moon Knight, and Moon Knight is dealing with something totally different. Moon Knight is dealing with mental illness, specifically DID, dissociative identity disorder, with this character who is so like lost. He says he can't tell the waking from when he's asleep from when he's dreaming. He's attaching himself, he's restraining himself at night when he's sleeping because he doesn't know what's happening to him. And I think the most interesting thing is, compared to the comics, when I was telling you guys about his backstory in the comics, when he appears in the trailer, he's going by Stephen Grant. He is a employee at a museum gift shop. He doesn't know he was Mark Spector. Kind of what I get from the comic thing I read is that he knew he was Mark Spector. He knew he was a mercenary to begin with. But here he doesn't know Mark. And then we see in the trailer he gets a phone call from a woman who calls him Mark. And he's like, why did you call me Mark? So that's really, really interesting. So I'm really excited for Moon Knight. I think it's going to be a good show. Will it stand up to Loki and WandaVision, which are the top two MCU shows that have aired on Disney Plus so far? That remains to be seen. But from this trailer, I do believe it is a strong contender. Will it knock Loki off the pedestal? Because in my mind, Loki is the top Marvel show so far. Will it knock Loki off the pedestal? I don't know. But I think just based on this trailer, it can definitely go up and hold its own against WandaVision and Loki, and definitely Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. I am surprised that this is coming out before Ms. Marvel. I thought Ms. Marvel was going to come out first, but there are rumors that they are doing some reshoots on Ms. Marvel, which is to be expected. So hopefully Ms. Marvel comes out soon, because that is the show I'm kind of looking forward to the most next to Loki. Which also, hopefully, we're getting Loki Season 2 this year. They haven't announced, I haven't heard anything about Loki Season 2. I just know that's happening, which makes me so happy. So, yeah. So, that was the trailer for Moon Knight. So, you guys tell me down below. That is not what I wanted to happen. There we go. That is cool, by the way. So you guys tell me down in the comments below what you guys thought of the trailer for Moon Knight and what you think of this slightly. I'm going to say it's more edgy. I definitely feel like Marvel is starting to move into stuff that is more edgy. We kind of saw that a little bit with Spider-Man No Way Home. It was definitely gloves off. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, totally, to me, it looks like it's going to be different from any other MCU film they've done so far. So I kind of like, and this definitely for sure is going to be totally different from the other shows they've done. So tell me what you guys think about this direction Marvel is going in. I think it's great that they're changing things up, that they're doing different things. We had Shang-Chi, which was a really cool Marvel take on a martial arts movie, and it was awesome and amazing. Now we're having Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which was originally called the first horror movie of the MCU. And now we're getting Moon Knight, which looks definitely a lot more darker, a lot more violent than the past offerings we've seen from the MCU, be it in the movies or the shows. Marvel does tend to do some touch on dark topics, but I feel like Moon Knight, and in particular Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and even What If, have been the first times we've really seen them pushing and seeing how far they can go with a dark topic, with a dark, gritty theme. So I'm really excited to see how far Marvel takes this. I'm really excited to see how Moon Knight turns out. Like I said, I will be here in Michigan for like the first 4 episodes, and then I will be down in Florida for the final 2. So hopefully I will be able to get a review to you guys while I'm down there. But yeah, just tell me in the comments down below what you think. Which Marvel film or a show are you excited for this year? So this year on tap we have Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Wakanda Forever. We're also supposed to be getting, we got Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, I think She-Hulk's coming out this year. We also have the Guardians of the Galaxy Groot's holiday special, like a holiday show for Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not sure. I want to say Loki season 2 is coming out this year, but since nothing's been confirmed, I'm not going to go ahead and say that's for sure. So what are you guys looking forward to most from the MCU this year or from Marvel Comics? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Click subscribe and ring the notification bell so you guys know when I post new content first. It really makes me feel good about myself, which is so weird because why do I need that validation? I don't know. I'm just weird like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are all staying safe, healthy, sane. And if you live in Michigan or any part of the country right now that's kind of in the grips of winter, I hope you are staying warm as well. I know it's a Michigan heat wave today because it's like 19 degrees and we went outside without our gloves on and we're like, ooh, it's kind of warm. We're weird like that here. So I am sending you all lots of love, hugs, and prayers, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody, and thank you so much for watching.